And it's like we want to bring presence and calm that a patient can co-regulate with. But the other side of that is like we're also like nervous systems and animals that are co-regulating with the person that's in front of us. And so it is really when a patient comes in with anger or frustration, it does take a lot of skill and practice to not be moved in that direction to say, okay, like how do I maintain this actual calm, not just a facade of calm. And I think connected to that, going back to the story you shared earlier about your kids crying because they're hungry, I think in our culture, we learn from such a young age that we should not value our own, like, very human animal needs, including needs for safety. And so there's so many ways. I've been thinking a lot about parenting, including a lot of like indigenous wisdom around parenting. And there's so many ways that our culture today teaches kids that we need to suppress our needs. And so like even simple things like babies are supposed to be fed on a schedule. I think we're like this is shifting culturally, but especially for like my parents, it's like they were raised in a way where it's like, okay, like you're only supposed to eat at this time. It doesn't matter if you're crying. It doesn't matter if you're hungry. Peter Levine shared an example that was like really powerful for me. And I still think about it. Let's say you're with family and you have a young baby and an aunt wants to hold that baby. You pass the baby over and the baby starts crying. What is the message you say? Like, oh, don't cry. Like, this is your aunt. You don't say like, oh, this baby's clearly communicating they don't want this person to hold them right now. And we're going to listen to that. So it's like from a very young age that we undermine this like autonomy and sense of our own self. And so what we learn is the suppression of, okay, my task is to appear calm, but that's at the cost of ignoring these needs. And of course, medical training and healthcare spaces reinforce that so deeply of how often have we like skipped a meal or not gotten outside for a moment or raced through many hours of seeing patients and realized like at the end, like, oh, I like really have to pee, or like these very like basic functions that we learn to ignore. And then of course, like in that, it's going to be so hard to come in to the room with a patient who's dysregulated and meet that with presence and grounding. And so Dean Spade, who talks about this idea of being de-skilled, like we've been de-skilled as a society from this. So I just say that because I have so much like compassion and empathy for myself and for other clinicians of like, this is really hard. It's an ask to do something that we're so deeply trained to not do.